Right, well, hello everyone. I've been off the scene for a little while. Not that I haven't been doing anything, but nothing worth putting down on video, really. Continuing on with the body work. You see a little bit on that guard there that I've been doing. But what I've decided to do is an alternator conversion. I got talked into that after fixing up the old generator. I got talked into it, so I decided to go ahead with it. So what I've secured is not sure if it's new or remanufactured Bosch, what they call a JX service unit. Now this is a JX A608 service unit, and what it was mainly used for was on Mazda cars back in the 70s. Mazda 929, Mazda Capellas, I think a couple of the RX models. But anyway, I secured that for $80, which I thought was a pretty fair sort of a price, and it's going to work out very well. The mounting brackets are going to line up pretty good, and the pulley will line up really well. So we just need to make a couple of little bits and pieces to be able to fit it. Now, quite some time ago, when I decided to do this, I actually made a bracket for the alternator, which kind of copies a little bit the Moss type bracket that they make, but to get it to reach right forward to that rear mount there would require quite a lot of distance between there and there, so I've just made it the same, and what I intend to do is make up a spacer. And also the mounting holes in this alternator are actually about 10 mil I'd say, and the one in the water pump and the one on this bracket that I've made around about the 8 mil. So I need to make up a couple of little sleeves or bushes to fit in there to take up the slack. Not a good idea to have the alternator slopping around the place. So what I've done is I've drawn out here a little bit of a plan of attack, and what I intend to do is also in this rear bush between there and where the bracket is, I'll incorporate a sleeve. So what I've drawn up is this arrangement here. It's about 35 millimeters overall in length, 12 mil turned down to the 10 mil size, and a hole drilled right through the centre of it to take the bolt. And for the front one, we'll just use that little bit like that with a hole drilled through it and pressed into the hole. So that should work out all right. The overall distance between the front of the hole on the water pump, where the alternator will mount to, and the front part of that, and the front part of this bracket here, when mounted up, is 115 millimeters. So we need to make this sleeve here in that area from there to there to take up the slack. Right, so looking at the alternator, we now, or when we measure it, we know the distance between that point there, which is the front of the water pump mount, and the back of the alternator, which will go onto the bracket. We know that's about 92 millimetres. So getting back to the drawing, we've got 115 millimetres right from the front. We've got from there back to there 92 on the alternator, not on the bracket. So we get back to the maths. We've got 115 minus the 92, so we need a spacer of 23 millimetres, and that spacer will fit between there and the front of the bracket. So what we'll do, we'll make a spacer come bushing all in one. It'll be 35 millimetres or thereabouts overall length, turned down to 10 mil diameter and 12 mil in, with a hole drilled straight through the centre, and that should do the job. Now, while we're at the lathe, those that have been following these videos for some time will probably may not recall, but when I was fixing the front chassis extension, I didn't have these parts, which are the bolt-on bits that go out to mount the bumper bar irons. So what I need to do is turn up a couple of little pieces of round rod that will get welded onto there, and they'll stick out with the threads on here. So what we'll do is, while we're down at the lathe, we'll make up this piece here. Now that'll be come into focus. That'll be 100 millimetres overall, turned back to 30 mil, and at about around about half an inch diameter to take the threaded nut of the appropriate size, which is the same as on the rear extensions. So I'll turn those up as well while we're down at the lathe and get that underway. Now, I've never used a lathe before, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit, and the one I'm going to use is pretty old, but I'm confident that it'll do the job. Probably older than me and the owner put together, probably. So we'll get that done. I think the cutting tools and that are not real sharp, but we're only making a bush, and this one's going to be threaded, so if it's a little bit rough it won't matter. So we'll go down there and get that done, and come back and show you what we've ended up with.
There you go.
Okay, we've got those bits turned up now. This little one here for taking up the slack, both inside there and between the bracket. So that's all going to look nice and tidy. The other little one has been pressed into there. Turn it around. You can see that there now. So that, I think, is going to make a nice tidy job of it. Just not sure which way I'll go with the bolts. Whether I'll put two separate bolts in, one in here and one in here, or get a long one to go right through and put a little spacer in between there possibly. But either way it'll work okay. And the other two I've got all done. I'll actually get welded into there. I've got the measurements on a little drawing where they've got to be actually placed. So that's those two. Yet to put the threads on. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I did try with a small tool, but just couldn't get it started. So yeah, I'll have to give that a bit of thought. But anyway, there's another little job done. The alternator conversion is almost done. I will have to measure up and manufacture an adjusting bracket for there. I think you can buy them, but whether they'll fit or not to this application I don't know. But anyway, well underway with that little conversion, and yeah, I sort of impressed myself a little bit with the lathe. My mate down there that owns the old lathe gave me a quick lesson on it and managed to turn those up okay. And you got to measure everything with the verniers, and because all the markings and everything on that old girl are sort of a bit hard to fathom and see, and also there's a little bit of play in it as well. So you just got to sneak up on it, and yeah, for rough sort of work like this is quite okay. The cutting tool is a little bit blunt, and whether that'll focus, you can see it's turned out a little bit rough, but once the threads get cut on there, that won't be an issue at all. So okay, I'll call that a wrap now, and yeah, try and get a few more videos out. I've been doing a bit, as I said, on the body work. I actually got another front guard, and they're not, it doesn't matter what you get, they're not without work, these things. So I've got the original one that I fixed. It's all beautiful, and I decided to get this other one because there's not many of them around. So I'll fix it, and I'll use the best one of the, or what I think is the best one of the two, and either hang on to the other one, or if someone needs one, well, it'll be there, but there's not many of them about. Okay, we'll call that a wrap for the day, and thanks for your interest, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all later.